Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Dylan DiBiase Music, where we're talking all things bass and all things music all the time. It's been a while since I made a video, just been busy with stuff, but thanks for sticking with me, and I'm glad to be back. Today we're going to jump into major scale variations, okay? So we're going to take three variations of the major scale and talk about how they're going to help us with our playing and how they're going to help us to be a little more fluent on the fretboard, all right? Let's jump into it. So, what we're going to do is take a look at the normal way here that a major scale is taught, at least on bass, okay? Okay, so I have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Right? This is fine, no problem there, but it's going to leave us in a little bit of a tight spot when we're trying to move on and incorporate two octaves into our scale playing, okay? So if I want to go like this, that's great, but I think it's a little bit of an awkward shift when you get to this A here, right? Because you're shifting that first finger up. It's a little bit tougher than I think some routes that we have here on the bass, which will enable us to improvise a little better off the major scale and just use it in a little bit of a more succinct way that kind of enables our hand motion to be economic. Okay, so let's check this out. Let's try this fingering. This is my first fingering that I use where the shift comes there, okay? The shift is from the E to the F sharp. I really like that fingering because it enables me, when I'm improvising, to have this option to be up at the fifth, okay, the D. As kind of a singing and stopping point if I'm doing something different, right? And then I still end up on that same 1, 3, 4 to finish the scale, okay? You're just covering a little bit more fretboard in my opinion here. Okay, and getting a little bit more familiar with the way that the scale looks on different strings, because in this initial version, we're really kind of hanging on this G string a lot. And I think a lot of people can get stuck not knowing a lot of the area here on the E, A, and D strings and where their scale lies there, okay? So that's a big thing that we're going to be focusing on here, all right? The second way that I want to talk about this scale is probably the first way that I learned it that really opened up my my thought process to a way the scale can sound and be played, which is what I call the open fingering, okay? And what's cool about this is it enables you to play the scale with basically no shifting. Only one shift there. Now this is definitely for my more flexible-handed friends out there, but it's still a really cool way to get used to the scale. So what I'm doing is I'm just stretching and I'm playing whole steps here, right? So I'm playing G, A, B, but I'm keeping that all in the E string. So it's a bit of more of a hand stretch, but what I end up with is kind of a really cool way to cover a large amount of ground here on the fretboard. And once again, I end up on that D in only one positional shift, or really no positional shifts. It's kind of more of a modal way of playing the scale. Okay, and then I also think it's really cool and easy to break it up into thirds if you play it that way. So here I'll take, for instance, the thirds, like I said. Right, and then... So that's kind of a cool way. That's sort of the second way I think about it, the open spacing, okay? So we have... All right, I think of that, the way I call it is positional. Because it feels like I hang in this position, 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 position. So think of three different positions, okay? And the last way that I want to talk about this is called shift fingering, okay? And the way that shift fingering works is, once again, it's a little bit of a way to get more comfortable on a different string. So here we're going to shift on the A string, okay? So the way I'm going to do this is... I just played a wrong note. Haha. Okay, so what I'm playing is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So I end up here on the lower octave, but all the way up on the A string here, right in position for the scale there. So what you do here is you shift up to the 6 there, and then you play 6, 7, 1. So there's more shifting here, kind of. But if you're improvising or playing up there, it kind of gives you some options up high and lets you get up your fingerboard a little bit quicker, which I think can be really cool. And if you sort of have a good grasp of all of these, you have a lot of freedom in what you choose to do. Right? So I think that's really cool. If you can work on that, I'm going to go through it one more time, okay? Positional shifting, the first way. All right, and then we have our spread fingering shifting. Right, and then we have our shift position. Really, really good to practice all 3 of those and have a mastery of those all over the fingerboard. And I would recommend probably choosing one that you're the most comfortable with and you like to use the most, so that you don't get too confused when you're playing or if you're trying to improvise. But I think if you can have a good handle on all 3 of those, you'll always feel like your hand lands in a pretty comfortable place if you've worked them through all the keys. Let me know how it goes in your own practice routine, and tell me in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you have the chance to. We really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, helps me grow. Thanks for being here. See you next video.